So, welcome everyone to Fanchats. Today I'm joined by the lovely Heather, who you probably know from her fan-related content about Niall Horan and Harry Styles. And today she's joining me. Also, she sings beautifully herself. And one thing I really love about your content, Heather, is that it is often very fun. But when the fandom is a bit dysregulated or something is going on, I feel you often have a very mature and level-headed response as well. And I really like that combination. So it's very lovely to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. It's really cool that we can talk all things fandom and stuff.
Yeah, that's indeed the idea, to celebrate fan culture a bit more. And for people who are watching, we are literally on other sides of the world. So Heather is in Australia right now, where it is evening, and here in the Netherlands, it's the early morning. And I was also wondering, Heather, because when I was growing up as a kid, Australia was often really mentioned at the other side of the world. So if you want to go somewhere where the time is completely different, you have to go to Australia and New Zealand. Like, is that also how it was mentioned to you about Europe or the Netherlands?
Yeah, I think so, especially because, like, if you get on a plane and you want to go anywhere, literally apart from like New Zealand or somewhere, it's like more than 12 hours. So it's always kind of like the other side of the world, everyone over there. So it definitely is. Yeah. We're definitely tucked away.
Yeah, and you kind of get it sometimes, because I went on a holiday to Bali, and then I felt like, oh, I'm really close already to Australia, but it was still an 8 or 9 hour flight away. So I was like, oh my God, that's like literally the other side of the world.
Yeah.
Hey, and I wanted to start with talking more about Niall and your love for him and his music. And can you describe a bit, like, how did you become a fan of him?
Yeah, so I wasn't a fan of One Direction when I was a teenager, sadly. I wish I was, but I was very much into like emo and indie kind of music. And then I kind of became a fan of Harry, which is kind of the way for a lot of people. And then, I listened to him for ages, and then I was like, oh, I'm going to learn more about, One Direction and stuff. And then I looked up Niall and everything, and I was like, oh, he's really cool. And I really like his kind of singer-songwriter vibe, and I really like his sense of humor. And I just think he's a really genuinely lovely person. And yeah, it kind of just snowballed from there. Yeah. And at the time, like my original TikToks, I mostly did make them about Harry. And then I kind of progressed into making more about Niall, and a lot of them were like the TikToks I made were very cheeky. And then it kind of changed as I noticed Niall Horan has followed you back. Ever since then, I'm kind of like, But yeah, no, I kind of just, it all, I guess, in a way, it didn't start with TikTok. Like, I liked Harry before TikTok and everything like that, but TikTok and the community and everything like that definitely allowed me to like find other people and like really lean into being a fangirl, I guess.
Yeah, and that's so beautiful. So like, you're actually like, it went kind of organic, like in Game with Harry, and then you discovered Niall, and it sounds as if you fell in love with him and his songwriting, but also with like his personality. And he has a very laid back, humorous kind of personality. And does that match yours as well?
Yeah, and I think like Niall's not afraid to laugh at himself. Like, he doesn't take anything too seriously, which I think it's a very similar sense of humor to Australian sense of humor. Like, I notice, Irish and English sense of humor is very similar to ours. So like, the people that get it, which, it's cool.
Yeah. And also, I think hindsight directioners deserve a shootout, because my journey is a bit similar to yours, Heather. Like, I also became a fan after One Direction already stopped through Harry. And sometimes I think back, because you were probably also a late teenager, young adult when One Direction was so big. So sometimes I say to myself, yeah, maybe I was a bit too old at that time, which is not the case at all. But I'm trying to soften that blow. That why wasn't I a fan back then from One Direction? But I do recognize also a lot of people, I think, start with being a fan of Harry and then kind of see the best of the boys. And you lean more towards Niall. I personally am also a big fan of Louis, which also came like in a similar way. And I think it's really fun because seeing your interactions with Niall, I think normally a fandom and the artist, it's not a one-way street, but it is a two-way street where I think the fandom is a bit as a collective. So like the fans know a lot about the person, but the person doesn't really know the fans individually. It's more like the collective. And I think that's beautiful as well. But you have a bit of an interesting relationship with Niall in a way that it is more of a two-way street, that he actually recognizes you. I was seeing an interview and it was on the radio. And I think that reaction was so funny when you were showed a clip and he immediately said Heather. Like it was almost
Is that Heather?
Pavlov's, you know, like very, very fast, as if you were like so present in his brain. And I think that's such a wonderful thing to see. And I was wondering how it was for you to see that back, like his reaction, it was like so fast.
Yeah, honestly, it was wild. Like most of the time, like that video I made asking him a question, like I was just like, I doubt anything will ever happen. Like I never expect anything. Yeah. And then that happened and I was like, what the hell? It's just, it's wild. And I still am just like, how did this happen? But it's so cool. And I think regardless if it's me, I think it's so cool that he interacts with his fans and like wants to know and doesn't think it's cringy. Like he doesn't roll his eyes or think we're weird. He thinks it's cool and he wants to be a part of it, which I think is really great.
Yeah, I think it's beautiful, right? And it also shows that he also invests in his fan base, right? It's not like, it is really mutual in that way. And I think it was just very, I think, wholesome the way he that came out of him like so immediately. And I think that's also like what I feel with Niall, but also, for example, with Louis, is that yes, the person is far away, but it doesn't feel like it. It feels like you're still very on the same level with things. And I think that's also with Niall, that he just seems like a person that you could also enjoy a day with if you would meet him in the pub. And even if you don't know who he is, like you would have a great day. There is like no arrogance or like this look at me kind of sense about him, even though he is world famous, like on such a level. And I think that shows beautifully in these kind of examples as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think he's really down to earth, and it's probably to do with like how he was brought up and everything, and like he's, you know, stayed close to home when he can, and yeah, I think he's super down to earth and not, I don't know if it's an Australian term to say up himself, so like not
I can understand what you mean. Like, yeah. And also, like, I think he really likes TikTok. Like, I think he has fun with it himself as well. I think he's just...
Yeah, I think so too. I think some artists you see and you're like, your label made you make this TikTok. But with Niall, I think it's really, really organic. And I think he just really enjoys it. And I have no doubt that he like scrolls on his For You page to see what fans are saying, no doubt. Yeah, I think it's really great.
Yeah, and also Niall, I feel like comes across as a person with a very happy inner child, like a large inner happy child. And I think TikTok is the platform so for people's inner happy child to just make content, to have a laugh, to dance. So I think the platform also fits him probably quite well.
Yeah.
And what are some of your favorite Niall songs?
Wow. I definitely like Heartbreak Weather. because I in my head every time I listen to it, I'm like, it's Heartbreak Heather. And
It's so funny. You also
I
named your account that, right?
yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I really like on the newest album, I really like Save My Life. I really like the saxophone, like I love No Judgment a lot. Heartbreak Weather, and there's so many. But those are kind of my favorite ones. And for a while I was obsessed with saying J'adore la mer from Nice to Meet You, so I do like that one. But yeah,
You
there's
also,
so many. How about
yeah.
you?
I really like Everywhere, and
Yeah, that's actually my ringtone.
yeah, it's so nice as well. And I must say, I went to the show when it was here in Belgium, and I was blown away. I knew he was good, but like the show, it really elevated his music. And I think you mentioned the saxophone, right? And I feel like people he took on tour with him, the musicians, it was such a good show.
Yeah, I was really impressed with his like vocal stamina and range as well. Like, for example, where like when you watch him back in One Direction, like his auditions and things, like he had the talent there, but it wasn't fully developed yet. And then you hear him now, and it's like you can tell that he's put in a lot of work and singing lessons and dedication. And I really admire that as well, because it's like he's really honed his craft.
Yeah.
I was so impressed with his vocals.
Yeah.
Very, 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 very impressed.
Same. And also, I feel like he also put work in extra in his stage presence. Like he had so much fun, but also with his dancing, and just as if he's more confident to also be more silly or something on stage.
I totally agree. Like he was just like, I'm just going to have fun with it. I'm just going to let loose. It was really cool.
Yeah, and also the musicians, I can't remember if I think it was a violinist who was also with him on tour. That was so beautiful. I was like completely in awe of like the artists that were with him as well. And
yeah,
I saw like when you went to the show, you had such a beautiful outfit, like the two-piece with all the colors. Like, was that something you made, or was that like it fit the show so well?
just so happened that I found it on Depop, which is like a secondhand store, online store, and it's from like this Australian brand called Princess Highway, and it sells a lot of like vintagey or alternative clothes. And it just so happened I was like, these colors are so, it suits the new album so well, and I was like, I have to wear this. I bought the skirt, and then my mum happened to have the jacket, like the matching jacket, and I was like, this is meant to be.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was so much fun. I loved a good theme, because you're like, I know exactly what to wear. There's no question.
Yeah, exactly. And it was also like, I was like, maybe you made it or something, but this is a beautiful story. So it was really like a collecting several pieces, and everything came together.
Yeah, and aside from obviously being a fan of them, I love like thrifting and finding like secondhand stuff. So it's even for Halloween, I'm like planning my costume and everything, and most things are thrifted. I think it's so much fun when you have like an event or a concert and finding something that no one else might have. It's so it's all part of the experience.
Yeah, and it also brings out, I don't know if it is for you, like your inner happy child. It's like, oh, we can dress up, or we can make something ourselves. And
dopamine dressing.
Yeah. And how was it to actually meet him? Like, how did that look? Maybe I should I have several questions about it, but maybe first question, how does that come about? Like, do you get like an email, or is that in your DM suddenly, like, hey, do you want to meet? Like, how does that work?
It was wild. Like, I think 2 days before the concert, I made this video jokingly, and I was like, hey, Niall, I'm going to be around the area of the concert venue. I will be there 2 hours early if you want to. And then I was like, nothing's going to happen from this. And then like the morning of the show, I was getting ready, like putting my makeup on, whatever, getting ready to go. And I got a notification from TikTok. And it was, I don't know if it was Niall himself or one of his like assistants or something. And they were like, hey, want to meet Niall? And I was just like, what? Sorry. Like,
oh my God, you didn't even have preparation time. It was literally the morning of the concert.
Yes. Like 2 hours before I had to leave. And by the way, no, I haven't told anyone this. So yeah, people have asked me a lot and I've been like, I don't know. But yeah, I just got a message and then I was like, yes, obviously I'd like to meet you. I didn't say that, but I was like, yes, oh my gosh, I would love that. And then he was like, cool. And then I got it like contacts with one of the people who work with him and kind of organized everything. And then I was like, cool, I'm meeting Niall. Oh my God, no way. And they were like, you can bring a friend. And I was like, cool, I'm going with a friend, so that's perfect. And then like as I was on the train, I got a text message from the person I was in contact with, and he was like, would you like to make a TikTok with Niall? And I was like, sorry, what? And I was just like,
I'm just trying to like imagine that happens. Like, I wasn't like with the first message. I can imagine that you were like, "Am I dreaming? Like, what is this? Like, am I seeing it correctly? Like, what's going on?" Like, but you barely had time also to.
Sorry, you go.
Yeah, no, you had barely had time to kind of integrate it before meeting him. It was like, oh my God, yeah, it's incredible.
In a way, it like my neurodivergent self was like, oh, change, freaking out. But on the other side, I was like, this is kind of good because I can't overthink it. I just have to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I was like in my room, like packing my things up. And then I got the message and I like ran out to my sister. I was like, I couldn't even speak. I was just like, what the hell? And then yeah, like I got ready on the train, like I got on the train and then the guy I was messaging was like, send me some ideas for a video. And I was like, what? I'm not meant to think of anything right now. And then yeah, I think I gave them that idea of the video, and it was just like, it was, that's how it came. That's a very condensed version, but that's how it came about. And then got there, met the person outside, went in backstage, like sat down. I think we were waiting and speaking with like his tour manager and someone else, and then like we were chatting and I didn't see out the corner of my eye and Niall just came in so casually and I was just like, hello. It was so, it was wow. My friend was like sitting on the couch before, like next to me there, so she got to meet him first, which is kind of good because I was like, I've just seen him. I need to breathe for a second. And yeah, it just kind of went from there. And honestly, I can say he is so nice. There's no arrogance, no persona, nothing. He's so lovely. And one of my most cherished moments is, I don't know if cherish is the right word, that's a bit weird, but like I really like enjoy, like made me happy was when I got up and we're walking, he was like, oh, I can see you've got a walking stick. And I was like, yeah, I do. And then he was like, oh, I can see your knee scar. He's like, what's wrong with your knee? And I was like, I told him. And then he was like, my knee's not very good too. And he was like, where are you sitting? I want to make sure that you're not in the GA because I don't want you to stand all night and hurt your knee. And don't dance too much. I don't want you to hurt yourself. And I was just like, that is so nice. And it wasn't like, sometimes when people ask about that sort of thing, it can be very like, what's wrong with you, like kind of thing. Whereas with him, it felt very genuine, and it was like a connection because his knee was bad and my knee was bad. And yeah, it was just really lovely to have that kind of like moment with your favorite celebrity. And then, yeah, we went and we kind of went into this room and made the video, and we were just joking around and laughing and having fun. And I kept like, I was a bit like, I guess, not overstimulated, but I was a bit like, and under my breath, I was like, Heather, fuck, get it together. And then he was like, yeah, Heather, hell, get it together. And I was like,
right, like all his internal voices going on as well.
Yeah, and then he mocked me about it, which was funny.
Yeah. But it sounds like such a lovely meeting as well, just to meet him, and that he saw you but treated you like just, that's what I said before, like an equal human, not that you have this star in front of you. And yeah. And that
I literally just, like, in my head, obviously I was like, this is Niall Horan, but at the same time I was like, I kind of just like really like want to be friends with this person. Like, he's really cool. Like he's really chill. And yeah, I didn't even think to ask him like fan questions or anything. We just chit chatted, honestly. And it was just like,
that's so wholesome. Like, you mentioned the word cherish, and I think that is actually a beautiful word, because if you have a lot of love for something or someone and you go there and now you actually got to meet him, and I think that it is a very personal experience as well. So like, I'm already happy that you want to share some of it with me and the people who are watching this, and to also hear that it like, yes, it is Niall Horan, but it sounds also as if you just met Niall. You know, like if you were just sitting together on a couch for a couple hours, you would also had a great time without, it sounds as if you're not really feeling like, oh, he is this super famous person and I'm his fan. Like, yeah.
Yeah, and I kind of got the sense that he kind of appreciated that too. Not, I hate to say that because I don't want to sound like, you know, annoying, but like I kind of got the sense that he appreciated that I was like kind of chill and wasn't totally like freaking out, which is a valid response as well. But I think, yeah, I think he knew from my videos that I was very like chill and just joking and wanting to have fun. So yeah, I hope that kind of makes sense, because I should have like wrote it all down, like when it happened, because I swear, like, it's like, this happened, oh wait, then this happened too, then this happened too. But hopefully that kind of makes sense a little bit.
It does. And it almost makes me think a bit of my introduction of you, because I also mentioned like the combination that is nice in your content. Maybe he feels that as well, you know, the funny, more chill side, but also the regulated side when the fandom is going in hysteria or there's all these things going on, and you feel like you can have like a very level-headed response. And yeah, it might also have to do with you are also a bit older. Like, I think we are similar of age. Like, I am 30 and he's like, he's not that much older, right? Like, you're also a bit like at the same age level. I think that also makes it maybe different than when you are meeting someone who's 10 or 15 years older or something.
That's what I was about to say as well. I think, yeah, I'm 31, which is wild. But I think about that. I'm like, sometimes with TikTok and things, a lot of the younger fans, I kind of, I guess, forget like, or just, we just have like a certain level of maturity that back, like if we were that age, would be like, yeah, right, blah blah. But it is unfortunately true that we can kind of see things from a different perspective. And yeah, I think having that, I guess, life experience does help when you're in a fandom, I guess, because like, yeah, I've hyperfixated a lot on like, and you know, I've always, like, even in my teenage years, like, I would hyperfixate on like different bands and get super into it. But like being older, I'm like, I have a job that I have to do. So like I have other things as well. Like I love this community and love being a fan, but I also I need to sleep. So I'm not going to stay up till 4 a.m. anymore. And, you know, like with Harry, I remember, like, I think I see your Vogue cover in the background.
Oh yeah.
I remember staying up, like when that happened, I remember staying up till like 4 a.m. for it to like drop and everything. But now I'm like, I love you, Harry, but I can't do that anymore.
No, I am exactly the same. Like when the Showgirl came out, it was like, I think 6 a.m. here, which is not that early, but I was like, no, I had my day off. I'm going to sleep until I wake up, and then I'm going to take breakfast and I'm going to listen to it in peace. So it's much more, I think, that you can just, see it from a bit of a different angle. And I also think that when you have, when you are a bit older, you might also understand their need for privacy or need for sabbaticals more. Like sometimes also with Harry, for example, I'm like, yeah, I kind of understand that this might also be an age where he just really wants to have a couple of years where he can just enjoy himself and be away for a moment, because it does come with certain different life perspectives, I think, when you grow a bit older.
And I get the need that people want an album from him, and like I do too, absolutely. But I also like want him to live his life and experience things and then make an amazing album of that. Like I was thinking, I think Lily Allen's just put an album out, and I think it's her first album in 7 years. And she was like, I think it was 7 years or something like that. And it's like, maybe she didn't have anything to say or want to, and that's totally valid. I think I'd rather quality, like I'd rather him to be proud of what he puts out than be forced to put out an album every year.
And also I think with Harry, like he was 16 when he started on the X Factor, so like he has been working non-stop from the age of 16 till 30. Like that's 14 years. I'm like, a lot of people who are growing up, going to study and have a job, they at least have some periods in between, often of a long summer holiday or like time to figure things out. But he has been on the go almost all the time, because in the previous periods he took off of work, he was doing all these movies. Like it was not as if he then had like a really calm period. And I feel like this might be the first time in his whole life that he had like this freedom to just be for a moment and not have to work or put out a movie or all these different things.
Yeah, and like he is always Harry Styles. Like that's him and his job. Like when I finish my work at the bank, I close my laptop and that's not me anymore. Like that's not what I'm doing. But he is always he's always that. So like I think he deserves grace and space, I guess.
Yeah, and just time to be Harry, because I also feel like it is telling that he is not like a singer that when he is not putting out music is still going to all these award shows or doing all these things. Like he is really like out of it. And I think that also shows that I think it is a job, and that he might also wants to feel that a bit, that he can be something outside of Harry Styles, which has become such a large, almost a brand, I think, during Love on Tour as well. Like it took off in such a large way that at the end, I can so understand that it is hard maybe also to not get up in that persona as well on stage. And I think especially what I love about being a Harry Styles fan is that he really displays that it is good to be both together. Like you can be this excited part and happy child and dancing on stage and be extravagant, but also have a more introverted side who just loves to read books and kind of go like, how do you say it? More in a hermit mode. I can see him just baking bread or just being in his home for a lot, and that it is okay to have both sides. I think You mentioned something about neurodivergency, like I have ADHD, and I think that I also really felt that my extravagant and extrovert side was a bit much. But when I became a fan of Harry, I saw like, oh, but you can have both. Like you can be that in moments, but it is also okay to just be quiet as well, and to have that kind of contradiction in your personality. That's okay. Yeah,
Yeah, I love that. And I also have ADHD, so I definitely relate to that. Like, and my ADHD is mostly inattentive. So, and I do like cave in a lot, like in like hermit style, I
yeah,
guess. But then the fandom and everything so exciting, it allows me to just like get really excited um and yeah, it's great.
yeah. And do you have any expectations about when HS4, like the new album? Do you have an idea?
I mean, based on this is like a very neurodivergent answer, but based on the evidence that we've seen so far, like I guess the pap photos or whatever, like him coming out of a studio, him being in a lot of different countries, leads me to kind of put together that he might be recording at different studios in different countries, and working on stuff. And I think I read somewhere, maybe it was from one of his producers, that it was going to be like disco ABBA kind of a thing.
Oh,
And it makes sense to me. I know ABBA isn't from Germany, but like he's been in Berlin quite a bit. And I think there's quite a, from what I've kind of seen a little bit on YouTube, there's quite like an underground club scene that's very like cool and edgy. And I think he's been a little bit involved with that. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's, I don't know, some kind of party, like, I don't know. But I also love, like, Fine Line is my everything.
yeah,
I love Fine Line so much. So it's like, I don't want it to be different, but at the same time, I want it to be different because it means that he's evolving as a human and
yeah,
experimenting, and um, music styles are so fun to play around with. If you love music, it's like he's achieved everything he can achieve, really. Like he's got a Grammy, like he's got all the number ones. Like, why not have fun? Why not experiment? So I kind of want something, I don't know, something really cool and different would be
yeah,
fun. I don't
yeah.
know. That was just a major contradiction in everything I was saying. But
Yeah, no,
how
but
about you?
I understand when you love something. I also feel a lot of love for Fine Line, and like I feel like Fine Line and Harry's House are really like a brother and a sister, or like they really fit together well. But with everything, it feels like this is really a new era. Like with the even with the new look, it really feels like
Mm,
what is coming will be a bit different, maybe. Um, and I saw a lot of people think it will be more of a pop rock album also, with more like David Bowie kind of influence. And
mm,
like I see that matching the Berlin aesthetics also a bit. Um, and like personally, I would love an album. I don't think that will happen. Is just him being more stripped back from production and just his voice with a guitar or with a piano, and
I
just
love
I would love that. Or maybe even more like a bit leaning to soft pop or country or something. I think it would
it.
fit him so well.
Would.
But then I also think about an album like that on stage, and he's such a dancer and a performer, and I'm like, that might be too stripped down for him. But I would love if we ever get an album like that, just his vocals and just some simple guitar, or yeah,
I would love that too. That's like my favorite genre of music to listen to, like that folky acoustic kind of genre. And I'd love that. I'd love
yeah,
that too. I think it would be really beautiful. And there are like Cherry is one of my favorite songs.
yeah,
Um and and even on HS1, there's a lot of like of that kind of sound, like stripped back. Whereas Harry's House is definitely playing around with more like electronic sounds and everything like that. Which at first, when Harry's House came out, I was just like constantly comparing it to Fine Line. But now I listen to it and I'm like, I actually love this so much. Like I liked it when it came out, but I when I find myself picking Harry Styles songs to listen to, I'm like I love this. Like I really enjoy it. And
fun album.
Yeah.
And I think that it is more that like people who are not a fan of Harry like really attach him to those kind of songs, you know, like the fun songs, the dance songs. And I'm like, but he has such an angelic voice. You should listen to this and this and this. So maybe that's also a reason that I would just love if more people appreciate also just his vocals, you know, and his vocal range and what he can actually do in his voice. And I must say, like, it was naive, but I really thought like last autumn, I thought that we would get a new album. And it was really around the time of Liam passing that just that week before something, there was like all this buzz in the fandom, like he's gonna announce something, we're gonna get new music. And in hindsight, I'm like, that was so naive because he was only away for such a short period. Like, but now I really I can't really put a date on it. Like, I have no idea if it will be on the next year or even 2027. Do you have any feeling for when the music will come out?
I think it could be next year, or at least a single maybe or something. Because I don't know, it depends like how, because if he releases an album, it's also like, when's he going to tour at the same time? Because he probably will plan it around that as well. So yeah, I mean, he could drop an album tomorrow and I would be very happy.
Neat. Yeah. So it is also, and he does like, at least with Love on Tour, he did like 4 shows, I think, in Australia.
He did 2 in Sydney, which I went to, and then I'm pretty sure he went to Melbourne and Queensland. I'm the worst. I actually can't remember.
No, I remember that at least in Australia, it was with like a singer that is apparently very known in Australia, the Horses, like that song.
Yeah,
I was watching it on live stream because it is such a good time difference. That if the show is in the evening, at least it is daytime here. But yeah, I hope he comes to Australia as well again for you guys.
I hope so.
Yeah. And would you be okay to go to the last section of the yeah, and that's more of a fun section. So to kind of rank CDs or songs, and I made a little this or that for you. So we have 5, and I'm gonna ask you this or that. And I'm also gonna ask you to rank them, but like do it immediately blindly, so you don't know what's coming. I'm gonna make it a bit tough for you, Heather. No, it's just fun, but like yeah, I thought that could be fun. And the first this or that is from Niall. So we have Put a Little Love on Me versus Must Be Love.
I think Put a Little Love on Me, because it's just so like,
yeah,
it's so like, I don't know, the way he sings it, he just puts everything in, like you can tell he's like singing from his soul. Must Be Love is a great song too, but like Put a Little Love on Me, it's just like
yeah, so beautiful. I can totally understand this bodily reaction as well to it. And where would you place it from 1 to 5? Where would you place this song?
I would say 4.
Okay. I don't know why I'm writing it down. I think okay, then we go to Harry. We have Daylight versus Canyon Moon.
Canyon Moon.
Yeah, I was like, with your love for Fine Line, it's probably like Daylight is actually my favorite Harry Styles song. So it's
Yeah, it's a great one. It's probably one of my favorite ones as well. The Canyon Moon, I just love it. It's so just like I love it.
yeah. Immediately want to go
I was
dance.
trying to think of a describing word.
Tour, Harry. We need a new tour that we can dance to Canyon Moon again. Yeah.
Yes.
And where do you want to put that one from 1 to 5?
I'll put it 2 because I'm scared that there's going to be a better one.
This is always so hard. Okay, then we have a battle between Harry and Niall. We have Fine Line versus Flicker.
The albums or the songs?
The songs.
Sorry.
I understand.
I guess I would say Fine Line only because it's just so like it's just so meaningful. But I really do like Flicker as well.
Yeah.
That was a hard one.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Where would you put that one?
3.
Okay. And then we have a bit more of a fun one. Slow Hands versus As It Was.
Slow Hands.
And where would you put that?
I guess I would have to put it number 1 because it's not the worst.
Okay, and then we have a little rock battle between Harry's Kiwi and Only Angel.
Only Angel, I think. I love Only Angel.
Yeah.
It's
so then
just so like
it's good.
pretty.
Yeah, I really like that. When that song comes on and people don't know the song, at first it is almost this angelic, like, we're going to ascend to heaven, and then suddenly it comes the beat. Yeah, I love it as well. So, but then I think we have Slow Hands on number 1. We have Canyon Moon on 2. We have Put a Little Love on Me on 4, I think. I should have wrote it down differently. Then and 4, I lost it. I have to watch this back. On 5, we have Only Angel. Yeah. Is that okay for you?
I don't think I would put Only Angel last.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
It is what it is. It was great. And for the last part, I want to ask you, like, for the next guest, to make a question so that I can ask that person a question.
Out of all the One Direction members' albums, which one is your favorite and why?
That's such
an easy question, but anyway.
No, it's not. Actually, yeah, the question is easy, but the answers might not be so easy, right? And that brings us to the end of our video. And before I'm going to thank you, I also want to ask, like, where can people find you? If they want to follow you, if they want to come along on your fun fan journey, and just, where can they find you?
Yeah, thank you for having me. You can follow me on TikTok. It's Heartbreak Heather. And then I do have Instagram as well, and it's Heathery. So Heather and then EY at the end. But yeah, thank you
as well.
Thank you for having me. I was so chuffed that you asked me to be a part of it.
Yeah, and I want to thank you so much. You're the first guest on here, and I'm so glad that you actually agreed to do this. And it was lovely chatting to you. And for the people watching, like, make sure to hit subscribe.
Yes.
And I will see you next time. Bye.